Hi everybody, today I'm going to share with you my Christmas card class number 1. I'm excited to share that with you, and I'll tell you a little more about how you can get the kits for these cards for free. My name is Verna Mullen from StampinNotes, and welcome to my studio in Western New York. I come every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live right here on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. You can catch me on either one. So follow me on my Facebook page, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that little bell so you are notified when I go on. Hi, Carol. I have a special offer this week for just for these Christmas cards if you shop with me this week using the current host code. And you'll see that when I when I go to my phone view. If you use that at checkout and your order is $40, I will send you the kits to make each of these 4 cards that I'm going to do today. And because they're all from different stamp sets or bundles, I will have everything pre-cut for you. And if your order is $50 or more, I will send you a pack of gems to go with that, the Festive Pearls. I'm going to be using them today. And also, I want to thank Margaret Bourgoin for sharing, and she gets a pack of the Festive Gems for sharing and commenting and participating last week. And also, these are what you would get in your little kit. So there's silver and gold, and there's I think it's Lost Lagoon, and there's a red up under here, and they're really pretty. They go with a lot because there's so many different colors. So also going on is our seasonal sale, and that starts tomorrow. It's tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, and you'll save when you shop with me, and you will get 10% off all ribbons or trims, 15% off inks, and 20% off papers from the annual catalog. I'm going to grab it here and show it to you. That's this catalog right here, not the little specialty September to December catalog, but this one. So anyways, if you want to take a look at the paper in there, because paper will be see, the paper's 20% off. The inks, except for the bundles where you get a whole bunch of ink pads together, are 15% off. And the ribbons and trims are 10% off. So that's a great deal. And I'll put a link in the comments so you can shop from me. You're welcome, Margaret. And so that's exciting. We had a fun class Saturday with our Christmas card buffet. And it's always fun to have the studio full of laughing and happy faces. And I'm going to switch to my other view and take this. Okay, can you hear me now, you guys? Let's go to, okay, can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry about that. I always forget that and I remove it instead of just clicking on the other one, and then I lose the sound. Okay, my bone folder. I brought it over here, and of course, I am looking for it. Here it is. Here we go. So I'm going to burnish that with the bone folder. And then I have a piece of garden green. I don't like the way that's sitting. It's a little bit off. I have a piece of garden green cardstock, and it is die or embossed. And I forgot that this embossing folder had retired. I use it. I'm going to use it anyways, and you'll get it in your kit. But this is the Fur 3D embossing folder, or it's embossed with that, and we're going to layer that right on top of there. And I'm using StampinNotes liquid glue, the Tombow glue that they sell. I just have it in a different bottle, a needle nose fine tip glue bottle. It's been a beautiful day here today. I had to take my mom to get a new phone, and got to go up and see my brother's new place that he and his wife just bought, and they're adding on some beautiful new rooms, and it's just going to be gorgeous when it's done up in Arkport. Okay, so that's on there, and then I'm going to use, I always forget the name of this paper. It's a Merry Bold and Bright designer series paper, and it's cool because it's shiny on one side and then has a cool pattern on the other side. All right, and so we're gonna adhere that over the edge of the embossed cardstock. And if you'd like to shop with me for the sale, I will add a link that has the host code already embedded in it for you to shop. All right, so we've got that on there. And now I'm going to bring in a piece of the iridescent white ribbon. And I've got a really long piece here. And I am going to wrap it. I want to make sure it's straight on the inside here. And you will get this ribbon in your kit. A piece of this ribbon, and we're going to make a bow. Need to move this up a little more so you guys can see it better. I always cut my ribbon too long because I don't want to not have enough to do a bow, especially when you're wrapping it around a card. But I think usually what you need is about 18 inches. Pull that loop through there. And I'm going to trim those. I'm going to bring in a glue dot just to hold that down. And I'll trim those tails off first. We'll trim them on an angle. Thank you for sharing. Oh, I will, Margaret. I'll tell her. Okay, and so we've trimmed that off. And now our glue dots come on this roll, and I'm just going to take my Take Your Pick tool and pull that off there. And put that underneath there just like that. And that'll help hold that in place. Now with the large die in the Merriest Trees bundle, I have die cut a tree. And here's my tree. And I've also used the garden green ink for that. I'm going to set this up. here. This is the current host code KX9CX67E there. And there's a stamp for the boughs and branches, and I've got that mounted on a big block. This is size E, and I'm going to ink this up with Mossy Meadow, which is a dark green. Okay, and then we're going to add some branches onto this die cut. Okay. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to pop the tree onto the card front, but before we do, there's a little die cut base for the tree, and I've used pecan pie cardstock for that. And you can see it's embossed too, so when it cuts it, it embosses it. So I know I want my tree about there, so I'm going to put this base right about here. And I'm just going to add glue to this. And I want it centered on this designer series paper. We're going to bring our tree down about like that. And I want to turn that just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to add some dimensionals to that. What else is going on? My son shot a bear, a big bear, this weekend. We have a lot of bear in our area. I love having the bird feeder up, but I've been waiting for them. They go into hibernation usually around in December, so a little bit longer before I can put the feeder out. And then we had pictures of bobcats, and they're pretty big. The bobcats are too. Alright, so the tree's going to go on there like that. Now I want to put some, like that tree up and make it look pretty. I'm going to bring in some basic rhinestones. Thanks, Carol. And some markers, and we're going to color these rhinestones with the markers. And then add them to the tree, and they'll look like Christmas tree lights. And I like to use the brush end. Oops, that isn't the brush end. Let's see if this works okay. And what's nice is that they will stay this color. And let's make some green. That was cherry cobbler. This is old olive. And we'll color that. Few of them green, and we're going to color some gold, and this is dark daffodil. We need some yellow ones, or you could leave these plain too, and it would be pretty. I think this tip on this one is worn out, but we can use it to color the gems. So now I'm just going to bring in my take your pick tool, and I'm going to pick them up and start putting them on the tree. We'll just make our old-fashioned Christmas tree. I remember as a kid, you know, it wasn't, now we tend to decorate like weeks in advance of Christmas, but we would just go like even a day or two before and get the tree. The putty picked up the gem there, but that was then and this is now. Those were the old days, and the Boy Scouts used to sell the trees down at the bottom of our, we live near St. James Hospital, near the old Elmhurst, and they would have a big tent, like a trailer, and a big fenced-in area where they sold all the trees. And we just couldn't wait to get that tree. And then came, you know, you could get artificial trees. I'm showing my age. Okay. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. Now we want to put a little sentiment on the front of this. And I'm going to come in with, see, this looks crooked on camera. I have a thin strip of cardstock. Grab that. It's probably 1/2 inch wide. And I'm going to stamp Joy and Peace from the Merriest Trees. And I'm going to stamp that in real red. We may have to move some of those gems. Or this is Love and Joy. Okay. Close that back up. And I'm just going to snip this off here. About like that. So we've got Love and Joy. I'm going to put it right across that tree. So I am going to move that gem. I'm going to move this one down. I'm going to move this one out of the way. And we need some dimensionals. Whoops, lost a dimensional there. My phone is buzzing, if you can hear it probably. All right, so that's going to go right across the center like that. I'm going to move this down a little more. All right, so this says Love and Joy, and let's do the inside of that. And I have a piece of cardstock that's 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to adhere this to one side, I think on this side right here. I know it's a little long. I'll trim that down after I get it on it. And this is just a piece of that designer series paper that I had on the front. I'll put it about like that. And I'm going to bring in that little sentiment with the trees. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And stamp that. We'll stamp that in the center up here. It would be cute stamped on the tree too. So there's We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And let's stamp a few little stars. We'll stamp them over here. And then we'll add this to our card. Oh, I need to trim this off. It's a little bit long. Hey Renee, nice to see you on there. I have your gems and I haven't mailed them out yet, but I will. It's on my to-do list this week. Okay. All right, so there's our first card. It says Love and Joy and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Well, that's a cute card. All right, and we'll move on to our next card. And this card uses the Sending Cheer stamp set, which is right here, with the stockings and the gingerbread man and the present, the envelope. These make really cute tags, but they also can be used to make really pretty cards. And I'm gonna grab my cardstock, and we're gonna use cherry cobbler to begin with. Fold that in half, or you can score it at 4 1/4. This is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And we're going to burnish that down, and this card will go this way. And now I'm going to bring in a piece of the Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. This is really pretty paper. It's actually one of my favorite. It has a lot of evergreen, a lot of woodsy. It has one page with trees and bears on it. I'll be using it on another card, and you can see it there. Unfortunately, this isn't paper that will be on sale tomorrow. It's just the paper in the annual catalog. And we're going to lay that on there like that. This is a nice garden green color. And I'm bringing in a strip of white cardstock, and I'm going to lay that across the center. So that's going to go here. This is our basic, just regular basic white. It's not the thick. And it's going to go on the center of the card. And then I have another strip of that same A Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. This has tiny little trees on it. Here's some of that paper on the back with the trees and the bears. So this is going to go on the center, right down the center of that basic white strip. Just like that. Okay, so I have die cut the hat and using cherry cobbler, and you can see each of their die cuts in this set has this little hole in the top in case you're making a tag and you want to use that. And this is the little band around the hat. So there's a die cut for that. And this is a little pom-pom for the hat. So let's go ahead and put the hat together here. We're going to put a dot of glue on there for that. And the pom-pom right there. And then I'm just going to run a line of glue here. Whoops, can't pick that up. And add that on the hat. Just like that. Isn't that cute? They're so cute. Before we put our hat on, we're going to do the sentiment. And so I'm using a die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. You guys are familiar with them, I'm sure. But this is one of those banners in that set. And I'm going to stamp Ho 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 on that from the Sending Cheer stamp set. Alright, so it's just a tiny little word. And we're going to use, I'm going to use cherry cobbler because the card base is cherry cobbler. So I want to stamp that 3 times. And we'll start here. We're not going to stamp all the way over to the end because the hat is going to be over part of that end. And I'm trying to space them out evenly. Alright, so there's Ho Ho Ho. And I'm just going to adhere this onto the card front. I want it about probably 3/4 of an inch or an inch from the end there. I'm just using glue, not dimensionals, because I'm going to pop that hat on with dimensionals. So we've got that on there. I'm going to turn the hat over, grab my dimensional sheet, and let's add a few dimensionals to the hat. And again, if you want to get these cards for free, the kits for these, just place an order of $40 or more in my online store this week. And using the host code, the current host code, which is KX9CX67E. And I've got to put the trim in there. And if your order is $50 or more, I will include a pack of the Festive Pearls in there with it that I'm going to use on this card. This is our silver and gold Simply Elegant trim, and I am going to put this through this little hole in the tag and tie a knot. Hey, Fran. Thank you, Fran. Okay, so there's the now it's sticking to the dimensionals. Okay, so there's our knot. All right, we're gonna put the hat on just like this on our card. I'm gonna trim these so they're not that long. And what I'll do is add a little glue dot to kind of hold them down so they're not sticking up in the air like that. And then there's a little tiny heart die cut in that set. It's really cute. There's actually a couple of heart dies so you can do a bunch at once. And we're going to put this little heart here, just like that. Alright, I'm going to grab a glue dot for the ribbon here, or the trim. And yeah, you say hi, you guys, if you're watching. Tell me where you're from. It's always fun to learn who's watching and where you're from. Okay, so there's our trim, and let's add just a few of those Festive Pearls on there. All right, here's my sheet of pearls. I'm thinking, oh, let's do silver. I'm just going to do 3 little silver ones up here. All right, so there's our front. It says ho, ho, ho. And we'll do the inside of it. So we have a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 of basic white. And I have another scrap piece of designer series paper. I'm just going to run it across the bottom here. I think this is the Joyful Christmas designer series paper. And I think just adding a little bit of scrap piece on the inside adds a lot. All right, and I'm not going to stamp the sentiment on the inside yet. I like to wait until I know who I'm sending it to, and I don't know if you guys are like that or not, but and we're going to add that in here. All right, so there's our second card using the Sending Cheer bundle and the Walk in the Forest designer series paper and the Festive Pearls. Hi, Glenda. Oh, you're from the Great Smoky Mountains. Cool. Margaret's from Western New York. Fran, you're from Colorado. Awesome. So nice to have you. All right, card number 3. Card number 3. All right, this is the other card with the Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. And I'm using Pretty Peacock cardstock. And this is 6, let me see here, 8.5 by 4.25, scored at 5.25. All right, so we just have this little flap on the front here. And again, if you get the kits free from me this week, you will get the PDF tutorials for each one. All right, we're going to add some more of that beautiful Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper, and we need a piece for the front flap. And I'm going to adhere that on there. I will be doing another Christmas card class next week. Like that. And then I have a large piece to go in the center of the card. Well, hello, Rosalie. Rosalie from Hartsville. Hartsville is the end of our driveway. One side of our garage is in Hartsville, and one side is in Canisteo. Hartsville's pretty big, and Rosalie lives quite a few miles away from me. All right, so we've got this. We've got our card that opens like this. So I've done some die cutting with the Countryside Corners dies, and you probably are familiar with that. I'm trying to think. These are the two, actually there's 3 shapes I cut. So I've used, I think this is the second largest one. Nope, that's the largest. Yep, that, and then this one is the 3rd largest, and this one here is the, oh, you guys can't see it. Largest, or 2nd largest, 3rd largest, and 4th largest right there. All right. These dies, I don't know if you guys thought this, but I thought, what am I going to use them for when they first came out? And I've used them quite a bit. I really, really love them. All right. So we're going to adhere this designer series paper, and this is from A Walk in the Forest too. And we're going to adhere it onto the larger die cut. Center it on there, like that. Hey, Teresa. Okay, and this is a little crooked, so I'm going to move it over a little bit. All right, let's, we're going to decorate this now. I'll put it this way. And I've die cut some trees using Pretty Peacock cardstock from the Forever Forest dies. Any of you guys have this? I love this set. So there's 3 or 4 different sizes of trees, 5 counting the really big one. Oh, actually, there's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different trees in this. There's some clouds. There's a landscape, and then there's the accompanying stamp set that goes with it. And so we're going to add some trees to this before we put our sentiment on there. And I have this little, tag is from the Cheerful Daisies set. I'm going to stamp the sentiment on that. And I'm using a sentiment that's a carryover from last year. Let me show you the Brightest Glow stamp set. This is in the annual catalog. I love the font with a Merry Christmas. I love the joy. Beautiful set. And this isn't in the holiday catalog, it's in the annual catalog. So this says 'tis the season. And I'm grabbing my Pretty Peacock ink pad. Rosalie is a pretty name. Pretty name for a lovely, pretty lady. Inside and out. Okay, so I hope this is straight. We'll soon find, oh! That must be the way I mounted it. So it's going, all right, let me turn it over and try this on the back side here. Let's see, I know, I'm gonna grab some scrap paper. All right, that's the only thing I find frustrating about the cling stamps is when you mount them, or when you put the backing on them, sometimes it isn't always, yeah, see how that tips up like that? Sometimes it isn't always, okay, so I've got to turn it down a little bit. It's harder to tell. All right, so let's try this and see. Okay, we'll go with that. That's not bad. And for the inside, we're going to stamp Merry Christmas, and I'll do that right now. And that is this small piece right here. And I'm using the Merry Christmas from that set. Okay, so we want it up a little because we want to be able to sign it. Or you could put a piece on the back and sign it that way. So that was Pretty Peacock ink. All right, come back to our front little piece here. And this is going to go here. So I want to add the trees to the front, and I've got 3 trees. Here's one, here's the other one, and I am missing a tree. I'm looking. Okay, I'm going to grab another die cut tree. It's the tall one, or the long one. All right, so I'm going to put this so it's a little bit behind that label. Whoops. About right there. Yeah. And then I'm going to put this one over on the end. So we want this, oh, that is that same one. It's the middle one I'm missing. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break this off because I don't want it the same size. And I don't think I like that. Hang on, I'm going to grab another tree. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so this one's shorter. I've got a little bubble of glue on the end of this glue tip. All right, so this one we're going to put right here, and then the little shorter one is going to go right next to it. Put it about like that. Whoops. Stay on there. Straight. My fingers are sticky. All right, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Thanks, Rosalie. Okay, we'll add 3. those backings off there. Does anybody have Christmas decorations up yet? I know my sister's family, they love Christmas, and some of them have their decorations up already. I like to wait till after Thanksgiving. That's just me. All right, so we've got that. I'm gonna grab a wipe because my fingers have glue on them. All right. So when you put this on your card, you want to make sure you only put glue on the back of this side of it. Otherwise, your card is not going to open. And ask me how I know. All right, so that's going to go on there like that. We're going to center this. So that's about centered on either side. And then I'm going to add a bow with a linen thread. And I like to do a double bow with the linen thread. So I'm just pretending I have a single piece of the linen thread here. It's actually doubled. And I'm going to pull that down like that. And then I'm going to trim the ends off. So there's the bow, and we've got to grab a glue dot. Oh, what did I do with the glue dots? Oh, here they are. I'm going to put it right on there, I think. Yeah, so that says, "'Tis the season." And then when you open it, it says, "Merry Christmas," when Verna puts the tag in there. So because this is smaller, when you close this, it's going to hide it. So we'll add this in there. All right, "'tis the season." Now let's add a few gems to that one. And I'm going to add these little, I think these blue ones here. Add one there. Oops, I want that up farther. Okay, so there's the third card, "'Tis the season." And you open it and it says "Merry Christmas." You can sign it here. If you want to write something more, you can add cardstock here, or even you could add a white piece on the side there. So that's card number 3. And then the last card is a more elegant card. I'm just wiping more glue off my fingers. And we're going to start with a piece of the thick basic white cardstock. Oh, I'm sorry, Night of Navy cardstock. 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to burnish it with a bone folder. Okay. Or you can score it at 5 1/2 and fold it, which would probably be better. Hi, Kathy. Hi, nice to see you on there. Okay, and then we're going to have a white layer on the front, and this layer is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. we'll put it right on there like that. So this leaves just a thin edge around, the side. I want to pull this over a little if I can. It might be too late. Let's see if we can pull it over a tad. There. All right, so now I'm gonna use, I gotta bring my sheet in with the name of the paper because I forget the names of the papers. I think it's the Shining Brightly Specialty Designer Series paper, and that's 5 1/4 by 4. It's this. It has the vanilla and this, and I'm thinking the other one was a red in this paper too. And this is gonna go on the front next. This is a specialty paper that has the gold, touches of gold in it. It was out of stock for quite a while. I think it's back in. And I have a die cut square. This is die cut with the shape set, with the circles and squares and the banners in it. And this is going to go right on the center of the card. That's no problem, Kathy. And we're going to put it this way. Center it. Like that. Now, I've die cut this beautiful ornament. There's that set of dies, and I have it right here to show you. Handcrafted elements dies. So I want to show them to you. They're beautiful. Does any of you girls have these? So far, this is the only one I've used, but I hope these carry over to the next catalog. I love this. I love that. And they're just so beautiful. There's a beautiful star, there's a tag, and there's this one. So handcrafted elements, and they are in the September to December mini catalog. All right, the other thing that's kind of neat about this ornament is I've used that gold and silver paper that has the adhesive backing on it. It is silver and gold 12 by 12 adhesive backed glimmer paper. So it's really nice because you can just peel this off the back here. Let's see if I can find a place to start it. Yeah, stylish shapes, Margaret. Could not. I was drawing a blank there. Okay, so see how that just peels? And then you can just adhere it down to your wherever you want it to go. So I want, let's see, the top of that right there. Nope, I think I want it centered. Now this is going to hang down. Nope, I think I want it up. About like that. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the middle. I know I'm living dangerously doing that. So I'm using the Merry Christmas from the Cottage Wreaths because it's a small sentiment. Yeah, I love that paper, is nice. It's fabulous. Especially like, you know, for stars or whatever. And I'm using Night of Navy ink because it goes with the paper. Alright, so there's Merry Christmas. And now I'm going to use our golden vanilla ribbon and make a bow here. So I'm doing the loop going around the loop, pushing this through to be the other loop. And this one loop is a little bigger than the other one. And I'm going to trim my tails. This way. All right. Okay, so I need my Take Your Pick tool and a glue dot. To get that on there. I'm going to put that glue dot right where that little loop was in the die cut. So isn't that pretty? Makes a pretty card. And I did not figure out what to put on the inside, so I'm gonna leave the inside blank. But so let's take a look at the cards. We have the Love and Joy with the merriest trees, and these are, you can get the kits for these by placing an order with me this week, and everything will be pre-cut and die cut for you. Normally, if I'm doing just one set, I would say you have to have the stamps and dies to die cut it, but because these are all different sets, it will all be done. There's that one. There's the Merry Christmas with a beautiful gold ornament. Thanks, Kathy. And then we have, what did I do with a little, oh, here's a little hat. From Sending Cheer, we have the little Santa hat. It says ho ho ho, and that's what the inside looks like. And then the last one is our, it's not a fun fold, but it's a different card with a Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. It's more of a country style card, and it says 'Tis the Season and Merry Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I will be back next week with a class number 2, Christmas card class number 2. Thanks so much for joining in. I enjoyed the time with you, and I hope you have a great week. Take care.